Yo, what is going on, guys? BashtianYgo here, and today we're going to be going over the Italian national top 24 breakdown for you guys, so you guys can go ahead and see. Of course, just to confirm again what we just saw last week at YCS Indy, really not much has changed as far as the opinion overall is concerned. Let me go ahead and turn off the notifications on my phone real quick. I want to go ahead and address this, right, guys? So it's really come to the point where we are very much well aware that a ban list is going to have to happen either sooner rather than later, right? Now, whether the Konami decides to wait until after or before nationals for the US and NAWCQ, it's really up to them whether they want to go ahead and do that. I know it's going to be taking place, of course, here in about a month or so, so it's still pretty recent from the last ban list. If you guys do not know, the last ban list was on April 15th of this year, April 15th, 2024, and some pretty big hits on this list. Also, a lot of really interesting things came off the list as well, so we can go ahead and go over some of the more highlighted ones. Of course, we want to go ahead and look at Baron the Floor, Borreload Savage, and Link Karibo as the big impact cards that were supposed to stop the Snake Eye reign, if you will, but it did absolutely nothing. Of course, the deck is just as strong, if not potentially even stronger, because now you create new avenues and new things that, of course, any Snake Eye player has to go ahead and go over to try and be more creative with the deck. So that's something that, of course, clearly it was not enough, right? So also we got some big cards taken off the list. We got, of course, Engage to 3, which did absolutely nothing for Sky Striker. Unfortunately, we got Malicious to 3, which did absolutely nothing. Heart Pourer to 3, which again did absolutely nothing. There's a lot of cards coming out this list, and Spirit Top, which again did absolutely nothing. Purely Delicious Memory did have a bit of an impact. Purely is a lot more of a consistent deck now, so that's something that we definitely have to take into consideration. Obviously, one Purely in top 64. I know that YCS Indy was only top 32, so there wasn't too much space for representation, but again, we already went over that, guys. So today I want to go ahead and go over you guys how we're going to go ahead and fix this meta in probably the most strictest way possible, because realistically it's time to crack down. And if Konami's not going to do it yet, well, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I know that there are other YouTubers who go ahead putting out their own potential lists, and while we're on the topic, I might as well throw my 2 cents in there as well. So with that being said, guys, we go ahead and get right into it. First, go ahead and look at the breakdown, then we'll go ahead and go over what I believe the new ban list should look like. For the most part, there are going to be some additions that I'm going to rely on you guys. If you guys have any suggestions at the end, please go ahead and mark them in the comments. But from what we can make out from the top 64 from the Italian nationals is a lot more diverse than the top 32 of YCS Indy. Of course, we have only 32, so just over 50% of the top 64 being Snake Eye at 34 duelists, making it with Snake Eye variants. So of course, I mean, that's not anything new, although the percentage is slightly lower than I thought it would be, because of course YCS Indy, I believe it was like 68 to 70%. So if that says anything, if that's a slight variable, that's kind of up in the air. But we do see, of course, a little bit more of a clear difference as far as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 best decks of the format, with second place taking with the Tenpai Dragon strategy, taking 9 slots in top 64, which is fantastic for the overall representation of Tenpai as well. I think Tenpai is a really cool deck as far as innovation is concerned, because really you have the option of either playing hand traps or board breakers. If you guys see for the Houston regional, those gentlemen who went and got top 8 playing nothing but board breakers in Super Poly, Ultimate Slayer, Dark Hole, Regeki. I thought that was hilarious, but definitely makes a lot of sense, because a lot of people are preparing for a more hand trap approach. So it really just depends on what you guys want to go ahead and do, and there's a lot of going first place you can make with Tenpai. Now, Tenpai is another deck that we are going to have to address on the ban list prediction that we're going to go ahead and talk about in just a second, because with the new Infinite Forbidden set that's going to be coming out the day of the NAWCQ, we are going to be getting brand new support as well, guys, for the Tenpai strategy in the form of brand new main deck monster and brand new trap card that make the going first board for this absolutely just ridiculous. Let me just say, this Heat Wave is really not going to be necessary anymore. Then we got Branded, of course. We got 4 spots in Branded and in the top, and then we got Labyrinth. Salamangreat with 3 tops in top 64 is pretty good. I definitely did not see that coming. Of course, we got to address Runic Stun, something that we are definitely going to have to go ahead and touch on this next list. list. Drytron voice is really cool. I believe this, I don't know if this is the same guy that we saw actually on the feature matches. I believe it was day 1 that we saw in the feature match, someone playing Drytron voiceless. I thought it was pretty cool. So I don't know if it's the same guy, but definitely kudos to you for at least making sure that you're getting representing Drytron in Top Cut, right? Fluandries is a deck that we pretty much have figured out. We don't really need to address that one too much. Purelli, of course, seeing a little bit more heightened in play just because the deck is so much more accessible now. You can pretty much get the entire core for like 20-30 bucks. That's including, of course, all the previous cards. The more expensive card right now is like Pearly Noir, $5-6 bucks, and you just need like maybe 2 of them, maybe, right? So of course, Cashier, 1 Rescue Ace. Rescue Ace is pretty cool. I did not think Rescue Ace is going to be still in making Top Cuts. So again, a little bit more of a wide variety of decks, a little bit more of a scale as far as we can talk about from best to worst decks of the format. So it's not what this video is going to be about, guys. I want to go ahead and talk about how we're going to go ahead and fix this. Okay, first of all, kudos to everyone who got top 64. Now let's get into it, right? So what I believe is going to have to get banned as far as the format. Let's go ahead and start off with the big elephant in the room. Flamber's Dragon just needs to get banned, right? It's got to the point where Flamber's Dragon carries so much of the weight. It has so much recursion for the overall deck. Even if you board wipe them, they just Flambers bring everything back, and then you, of course, because you're special summoning fires, you get the Raging Phoenix effect, and then you still have Princess life. There's so many things that you can do just because of Flamber's Dragon, and plus being able to go ahead and put cards into the spell and trap card zone and special summon them out whenever you want is absolutely ridiculous. Just that the amount of utility that Flamber's Dragon brings to the deck is ridiculous, guys. I think that Flamber's Dragon needs to get banned for the deck to see any type of drop in play, just because, of course, it just again provides so much for the deck. It's so easily accessible. I mean, you could really just go ahead and get activate Ash Effect, send it, and literally whatever else. Especially in Flamber's Dragon, you already have the best card in your entire deck onto the field. It's so easily accessible, high utility, has interruption, has recursion, it gives you follow-up. I mean, there's 5 really good things, guys. Flamber's Dragon needs to get banned on this next list. Another card I think needs to get banned. If you're going to ban Linkuriboh, ban Relinquished Anima. Just go ahead and get rid of it. It has a little bit more utility than Linkuriboh as far as being able to go ahead and take monsters as well. And plus, Relinquished Anima, of course, is a generic Link 1. If we're going to go ahead and attack the deck, then we might as well go ahead and go hard into it. This is probably one of the ones that's not going to be nearly as popular as far as hitting Relinquished Anima. I think hitting more of the main deck cards may be more effective, but if Konami's going to go ahead and hit Linkuriboh, they might as well hit Relinquished Anima as well. So ban Flamber's, ban Anima. As far as additional decks that we're going to go ahead and see, Despia. Okay, so Despia, branded Despia is of course a really great deck. I really like Despia in the fact that it feels very well balanced. It feels that you can play a deck extremely pure. You don't really need any hand traps when you're going to be playing that deck, which I love. Sanctifier Dragon needs to go. I think it's just the facilitator. You don't need, you're not going to hit Gimmick Puppet. Gimmick Puppet's going to be getting new support, and we've been hitting the wrong card. Because even if you hit the Gimmick Puppet card, they'll just switch to summon DD Orthros. That way you can only summon Fiends, and that way it just still destroys all decks except for, like, I think the Yubel deck. So that's definitely something that we're considering. Sanctifier Dragon has just been let to run loose for so long, guys, that it just needs to go ahead and go. Tenpai Dragon, one of the newer decks, of course, of the format, also getting brand new support, like I mentioned, in Infinite Forbidden with a brand new main deck monster, new trap card, which are absolutely ridiculous as far as what it is capable of doing. I think that Heraldic Seal is going to have to eat it, right? As either Heraldic Seal or Bestial Magnamut, I would rather it be Heraldic Seal. I do very much like the Bestial's engine overall. Being able to search dragons, the Druid Swarm, I like overall. I really like the way it plays. It's the versatility. You can go ahead and use it with so many different decks, but it doesn't feel oppressive, so I don't think that hitting Bestials is going to be the best way to go about in this scenario. I think hitting the Heraldic Seal is going to be a lot better because, yeah, think about it, it gives the deck so much advantage just having a going first play. And even after of course, if Infinite comes out, it'll still have a going first play by being able to have the trap card, which skips your opponent's main phase 1 essentially. It makes them go straight into the battle phase. So I think this is really good. But just that mixed with Heraldic Seal makes her an absolutely nasty combo that I'll go ahead and show you guys in a different video, right? But it's absolutely just devastating combo that skips your main phase 1. skips you right into the battle phase, and when you're in the battle phase, it's just a quick synchro summon until you get into Transcendent Dragon, and then they turn all your monsters to attack position, your 2-3 monsters you have on the field, and you're forced to attack into it. So I just think that's absolutely ridiculous. So Radic, Seal get banned. Heat Wave, Cold Wave is banned. Why is not Heat Wave? Like, I just feel like that makes sense to me, guys. Heat Wave is just here. You make me go first, cool, activate Heat Wave, now none of us are playing, and the second my turn begins, you're dead. So Heat Wave just does not feel like a healthy card. And I'm probably gonna get a lot of backlash on this, and that's perfectly fine. But I just want to go ahead and my points out there. Heat Wave just feels like a really ridiculous card. I mean, skips your turn, skips their turn. They're just looking at you because they can't negate it, unless they have that one side frame card that negates spells. But that's pretty much it. So that's definitely something that's worth at least considering for Konami to go ahead and ban, right? Next ban and last ban on this list, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do Shifter. I think D-Shifter, there's a lot of decks that are very popular right now because they can play Shifter and no other reason. No one plays Flu because they love playing Flu. They play Flu because you can play Shifter in it, and it's really, really good for the strategy. Cashier, yes, you do play Cashier because there's a lot of fans of Cashier. It's a very good deck overall, but again, it's very, very popular and does very, very well because, again, it can play Shifter. So can Tenpai Dragon. They can take advantage of Shifter and OTK you through Shifter. So I just think Shifter is just too ridiculous a card to go ahead and continue to leave on the unbanned, essentially. And it's been going on for far too long where it's just been completely unaddressed. And you know what? It's time. It's time. We need to go ahead and address the Shifter. All right, now to our limited section. I'm gonna go ahead and limit Snake Eye Ash again. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for that one, and that's perfectly fine. Snake Eye Ash getting ultimate rare reprint. Is this gonna happen? Probably not. But I still need to go ahead and make sure that we are able to address it. Again, the Tenpai Dragon isn't the only deck that's going to be getting any type of support through the Infinite Forbidden set. We're also going to be getting the Fiendsmith engine, which of course everyone's going to be scrambling to go ahead and get day one because day one is NAWCQ day. And with that being said, guys, Fiendsmith just absolutely make the deck ridiculous, even more so than what it is right now. I think Snake Eye Fiendsmith, or Fiendsmith engine overall, is super good. Just being able to add so much more consistency to the deck. So even if you limit Snake Eye Ash, you're still going to be able to have a full access to your full combo with Snake Eye. But again, as long as Flamberge Dragon goes, I think that's going to be doing a lot for against the strategy to make it not feel as tier 0. Next, Skill Drain needs to go to 1 or ban, whichever one. 1 or ban is perfectly fine. All the floodgates right now that are legal, Rivalry, Goes in Match, there can be only 1. I don't remember if Anti-Spell Fragrance is banned or limited, but so they're all banned or limited. Why is Skill Drain at 3? I have absolutely no idea. Whoever idea that was is absolutely crazy, but it's also one of the main reasons why Runic Stun is viable, because you have so easy access to get to Skill Drain, and even if you don't, you have so many other floodgates that you can potentially use. There's so many people playing Super Ancient Organism, the one that prevents level 6 or higher monsters from attacking or activating their effects. That's a really good card. Of course, Synchro Zone is a really good card as well. Not nearly to the level of Skill Drain, but still it's a great deterrent in the Runic Stun strategy. Will a Runic Stun strategy survive a hit to Skill Drain to either 1 or ban? Potentially, because honestly the deck has of course a lot of consistency with it. Doesn't need to play anything outlandish. It's just a very straightforward deck, so you may need to go ahead and limit Fountain as well, or hit Runic Tip. I know that in, I believe it's Master Duel, they just absolutely shat on the Runic deck, so is that something that's going to have to happen? I really hope not, because I really like Runics overall as an engine. I think they're really cool to be able to have that amount of interruption. I think one of my favorite decks of all time was probably the Runic Sprite deck with Sprite Elf. I think that deck was a lot of fun to go ahead and play, to be able to stun your opponent, be able to go ahead and have actual boards you can set up, and decking out wasn't the only strategy for the deck. So I really enjoyed that one. But again, it's just me. I think that Simorg, the Bird of Sovereignty, now I'm skipping the semi-limit version, semi-limit category, and if you guys believe there's any cards that need to belong or do belong in the semi-limit section. Let me know in the comment section down below, because I just want to go ahead and skip that part altogether. Snake Eye Ash could potentially go in the semi-limit, but it's really not going to do anything to consistency of the deck. Plus, I'm not touching Diabell Star, and I'm not touching Wanted, so we go ahead and leave that for what it is. Even though I do believe Wanted is a ridiculous card, just because it gets you an additional draw, I think that's ridiculous. I think that you can activate it in the draw phase, so you can't really, you play around Droll extremely well by being able to go ahead and do that. I just think that's something that we need to take into consideration, but I don't think it's to the point where it's ban worthy or limit worthy just yet. Anyway, we're skipping the semi-limits, and Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty was a really good card back about 2 years ago, back when Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds was legal, but now it is banned. It is the only one that is banned because I believe it was Fluandre's fault, so that is gone. So Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty, I think, was a really great card. I think it was fantastic in any Lyrilusk strategy to summon out Mist Valley, Apex, Avion, and I honestly think it can really go ahead and come back. I really like the card overall. I don't think it's going to be affecting anyone in a negative way. Plus, it might give Lyrilusk a lot more of a fighting chance here in their current format. Maybe Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk will be able to come back as one of the roguish decks of the current format, so that'd be pretty cool. Pankratops can easily come to 3. Pankratops at 2 is doing absolutely nothing, so we can go ahead and bring that back to 3. And my 2 probably, well, Chicken Game can definitely come to 3. Chicken Game at 1 is not being played at all, and that's one thing I definitely agree with Galzo in his videos. Spoke about Chicken Game just not being used at all, and Chicken Game to 3 would be really cool just to see, because it's really not doing anything to anybody. Same thing with all, just go ahead and say this right back, all Zodiacs can go ahead and come back to 3, and all Dragon Rulers can go ahead and come back to 3, and I just want to see what happens. I really just want to go ahead and see absolute madness and chaos of people losing their minds over over these decks. I feel like that'd be really funny, but honestly, I don't think Zodiac or Dragon Rulers are doing anything in the current format. And the last card I really want to go ahead and see, in the event that these hits all align, with especially with Snake Eye Ash getting limited and all the other bans, Monster Reborn to 3 would be really cool, only because it would, I believe it would definitely have to be a staple at 3. Imagine if you only have one Snake Eye Ash and you're playing in the mirror match, but it would be similar to like Lullaby of Obedience, but now you know that that card is going to be like in their graveyard. They're not going to have another one in the deck, so maybe Monster Reborn would see a lot more viability in play at 3. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I think it would be really cool to go ahead and have a NAWCQ where that actually would be the case. So that's going to be it for my Banlist predictions as far as what I believe we need to do to go ahead and fix the format and just create absolute madness at the end, with, of course, with the Zodiac and the Dragon Rulers being banned. I think it would be make for a really fun national season, but I may be crazy. If I'm crazy, just go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below, guys. And if there's any cards that I missed that need to get hit on this list, let me know in the comment section down below. We can go ahead and talk about it. As you guys know, I do like to go ahead and comment back on all, if not most, of the videos, comments that you guys go ahead and leave, just so we can go ahead and have that discussion, that interaction. I want to go ahead and hear you guys' thoughts. So again, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see y'all in the next one.